All right, we should be good to go now. We should be live. So, hello there, everyone, and welcome to Fantastic Four tier list discussion video, whatever we're calling this. I need to find out better titles. Um, I have with me currently two guests. We might have more popping in and out. We'll see. But for now, we have with me. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Great
Um,
introduction. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just nervous, you know.
You're good. You're
Anyways,
good.
um, well, uh, God darn it. Anyways, um,
Take
I
your
am
take
Secret
all the time
Slave.
you need.
So yeah,
Well, that's an introduction, I
that was
guess.
terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next.
Hello, I'm Sly.
Yeah, that's a better introduction. All right. So, we are going to no stop. Don't do that. Okay. There we go. So we are going to be going ahead, and originally we were only going to be doing the Fantastic Four movies, but then I realized we've only had five of them. Technically, only had four because one of them's unreleased. So that would be like we'd be here for like 45 minutes and then everyone would go home. So I decided to throw in the animated series too, just to talk about them a little bit. It's not really fair to correct or to. It's not really fair to compare a movie to a series. Like they're completely different things. But I just included them just to. Well, first of all, so we could be here for longer than 45 minutes. But secondly, so that we can be here longer than 45 minutes. I don't know what to say. See,
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about not knowing what to say. I never know what to say. I just say things. And usually when I say things, they're not things that I should say.
exactly. Yeah, it's literally just a meme. Yeah.
Okay, so the way that this is going to work is I'm going to go ahead and start off first. I'm going to place the movie place the movie into the tier list. I'm going to explain why I put it there, and then you guys are going to get to either agree or rebuttal. If you agree with me, then it means I'm right, because I usually am. If you rebuttal, then you have to explain why you think it should be either higher or lower. And if you're able to convince me, then I'll move it on the tier list. If not, then I get to laugh and say, ha ha, you're wrong. So we're going to go ahead and start off with 2005. So the first Fox Fantastic Four. And for this one, I think it's definitely better than people give it credit, in my opinion. I think it's better than most people would say. Um, some of the like general issues that I have with it are it doesn't feel like the Fantastic Four earn their position as celebrities or like heroes. They do one thing. They do is like stop. They save a fire truck, stop an accident on the bridge, but that was an accident that they caused. It was their fault that situation happened in the first place. So like I don't think their role as heroes or as celebrities is really earned. I don't think that status is earned. It's just like, oh, they did one thing and now everyone loves them. And like I kind of get it, they have powers and that's cool and stuff, but the way they're treated like these mega celebrities is just weird to me. And then the other big problem I have is Doom. This movie basically said, "Hey, you know what people love? People love Spider-Man. People love Norman Osborn. People love the Green Goblin. People love Willem Dafoe. What if we took all of that but made it worse?" And that's how you get Doctor Doom in this movie. He literally feels like we have Green Goblin at home, but worse. It's like they tried to follow the Green Goblin recipe, but they didn't follow the recipe, and instead of Green Goblin, they got Mint Troll. But despite all of that, I think it's an okay movie. I think it's fine. So I'm gonna just bump it into, I'd say okay. All right. So you guys, what do you think? Agree or rebuttal?
I would agree with that, honestly.
I would 100% agree with that. Like, yeah.
Okay. What are
It's
your
like
guys' like thoughts on the movies, other than anything, either adding on to what I said or anything like new, different that you guys think about it?
it's like what you said during while when we were watching on Discord. Like they don't do anything besides like save that one fire truck
Mm-hmm.
before they start to become like famous for being heroes. So like I really do think there should have been like a montage of them just doing heroism, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So we're all kind of in agreement. Like it's not a terrible movie. It's fine. It works fine, but pretty standard, substandard. Like could have been better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next one here. Next up is Rise of the Silver Surfer, and I have to say I actually really like this movie a lot. It's a movie that I really loved growing up. Growing up, this was like one of my favorite movies. It was like Spider-Man 2 was like my favorite movie. I love that. And then right under that was X2. X2 was great. I loved that. And then right under X2 was Rise of the Silver Surfer. And so, as you can tell, I have a thing for sequels. But no, I think what I like about this movie is that the the team dynamic feels a lot better. It feels like they actually have a dynamic, whereas in the first one they were just kind of there ish. Like, you could tell that they were friends. You could tell that they got along, but it kind of felt more like it felt like um, Reed and Ben were really close, and then Reed and Sue had that like awkward X thing going along, and then Johnny was just kind of there. He didn't really have like a strong sense of connection to the team. He just kind of like existed. So this movie did a lot better with the group dynamic as a whole. I really love Johnny and Ben's dynamic in this, like how they joke around with each other, how they like mess around with each other. I think that's done pretty well. The Silver Surfer as a character, I really like. I think his arc is done really well, and um, I definitely think that the way his arc is done is there's a good enough payoff to it. Like it's satisfying, it's resolved well. Maybe it could have used more. I would have liked more, but it works. For me at least it works. I think his character is really good. I really like his character, like his arc, his interactions with he primarily only really interacts with Sue, a little bit with the others, but not too much. Um, but it works. It works as a whole. So overall, obviously Galactus is terrible. He's a cloud. It's disappointing. It's sad, but honestly, I don't really mind it as much. Like in terms of being Galactus, it sucks. It sucks that Galactus, a really important character and a really interesting character, gets reduced to just Space Cloud. That's kind of lame. But I like how, you know, he doesn't really matter. Ultimately, Galactus doesn't matter to this film. He's more so just like an entity, a threat, rather than a character. And like, it sucks if you're a fan of Galactus, except if you like him. But for the movie itself, it's fine. It works. Him being a more of a plot device than a character works for the film, so it's not a huge detractor unless you're like a prominent Galactus fan. Then yeah, I can see that being like a really big issue and hating it. But for me, it's more like I don't like this choice. This is a dumb choice, but it doesn't kill the movie for me. So yeah, I'd say it's good. All right, what do you guys have to say?
Um, honestly, I agree. It's like, but like the with the whole Galactus thing, I'm like,
Hmm.
what the heck? Like, at least show it look like show him like physically, not like within the cloud, just within the space cloud. But like, and that's their choice, not mine. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I get you, and yeah, that would have worked better. Like when Silver Surfer goes into the cloud at the end, when he goes into the cloud to like defeat Galactus, we get like a vague outline of Galactus, and like that's supposed to be him, but really, would it have been that hard to just CGI Galactus for that one scene? Did he still have to be a cloud? Like, it wouldn't have fixed the problem with Galactus, but it at least would have been something. It would have been better than just Cloud Face.
Yeah, like if it was just like his body was hidden behind the clouds rather than the cloud actually being him, that would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so what do you guys think about the placing? Would you agree, or what do you think?
I would agree because like you said, the dynamics of the team were a lot better, like a lot more fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I will also agree.
Although one thing that both of these movies do wrong is how they handled Sue.
Yes,
Uh,
you're. Oh my god, how did I forget to mention that in both movies? The very, very, very early 2000s, haha, naked woman joke. It's like, it's not
Yeah,
funny.
it's
It
like
is so not funny. You made that joke 3 times in 2 movies. It's not funny.
the first time it was funny. The other two times, no, not really.
Yeah, it's like it's the same joke with her. Like, do you not have anything else to do? It's
right, and they
You know,
didn't like when Johnny had her powers, he didn't have to strip.
when she had his
true.
power, she still ended up naked. She doesn't even have her own powers, and she's still. Uh, they
Yeah,
had one
actually,
joke with this character.
when Johnny flames on and off, like he still has his power. He still has his clothes on. They're just like singed.
Yeah, the only time that Johnny ended up naked was like the first time when he went skiing, but that was because he couldn't like. It was his first time with his power, so he just went like completely out of control. So that makes sense in a way. But even then, with him, it was mostly just like it wasn't even a haha he's naked. That wasn't the joke. The joke was like he was on fire and he landed in the ice, so the ice melted. Like him being naked after going on fire for the first time wasn't played up as a he's naked joke. It was a played off as like he fell in the snow joke. Whereas with her, the emphasis is always on the fact that she's naked or that she has to like take her clothes off. Or this video is getting demonetized. I'm getting demonetized on a video that's not monetized, but
Well,
yeah.
that's well, yeah, it's like what the heck.
The other thing that's kind of iffy to me is um Reed and Sue's relationship. Like it's not bad, but it's kind of weak in some areas. Like in the first film, the whole conflict was about him not being committed or like not fighting for her, and so that's why she ended up with Doom, but she actually liked him. And then the second one, the conflict's all like, oh, but um, her wanting to have a normal life and wanting to be normal and just be with him and stuff like that. And it's the conflict between their relationships always feels kind of forced. It feels like there's a conflict because there has to be a conflict rather than it being a natural conflict in their relationship. Um, I'll talk about this when we get to First Steps, which I know a lot of people haven't seen yet. It just came out like 2 days ago as of the streaming recording of this. So like obviously no spoilers, but First Steps has a Sue Richard conflict that is so genuine and organic, and it's like this is what I wanted from their relationship. Conflict that feels like conflict you would have in an actual relationship between people, not this forced melodrama of let's get married, except a meteor crashes during our wedding.
Yeah. Plus, also the fact that the movie ended with them having their wedding in Japan.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that was straight out of left field. I was like, what the heck?
that was so random. Why did they get married in Japan?
I have no idea.
Uh, but yeah, like overall, not like super sold on the relationship. Not the biggest fan, but it's not terrible either. It's serviceable enough. It works enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think as a whole, like what's interesting about these two Fox films is that I feel like they get like Silver Surfer is better than the first one. So like there is that improvement. So I feel like if we had gotten a third movie like was planned, the third movie would have actually been really good. Cuz clearly a lot of the flaws in the first one, a lot of the things in the first movie that just don't work or just kind of like weak points, they did fix and improve in Silver Surfer. The cast dynamics better, them feeling like celebrities, it feels more organic. It feels like it makes more sense. Reed as a character, his character growth. I know a lot of people hate it, but I actually really like the whole the moment when he's like clashing with the general, and the general's like, "Oh, you know, I'm the quarterback. This is my team," and he's like, "No, this is my team." Like I like that. The fact that he's more assertive, he's standing up for himself more. That I think I like. Also, that speech is directly from the comics, so like it was cringe when the comics did it. It's cringe here, but that's kind of the point. He's a nerd who's trying to act tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shame we didn't get a third movie. I would have liked it, but yeah. And now we go to a movie that no one wants to talk about, Fan Four Stick.
Exactly.
I think we know where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can get this out of the way. I I swear I do not know a single person who likes this movie or who has anything good to say about it. And this is coming
I like.
from me, a person who will vehemently defend the Zack Snyder movies. A person who actually loves Morbius and Madam Web. A person who thinks the Sony movies should have continued. Me, I am saying this. This movie sucks. It's so bad. It's not only boring, it's terribly paced, it's slow, it's dull, the characters all feel out of character, and what they did with Doom is just one of the biggest insults to Doom as a character. Actually, I can't say that anymore because Robert Downey Jr. casting exists. That's now the biggest insult to the character of Doom, but this is a close second.
Yeah.
I think the most baffling part of this movie is how Ben gets his catchphrase.
Oh my god, that is so terrible! Who approved that? Who was in the writer's room and said, hey guys, what if he was abused and that's clobbering time?
Yeah, this
Who wrote
catchphrase
that?
is
Who
so
approved
broad
that?
that I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, and also Ben having like what 44 confirmed kills.
Yeah, this was very much like you can tell this was done during the era of edgy movies because say
Yeah,
what you will about the DC movies and their tone and stuff like that, at least the characters still felt in character for the most part. You know, there are some things that obviously just feel really weird and out of place and out of character, but it's not like a drastic out of character. A lot of the writing choices in this movie, a lot of the things that they did, it feels like something that you would get from a Riverdale esque CW reboot. That's what this movie feels like. And somehow it has worse writing and worse quality than a CW Riverdale esque reboot.
It does, and this movie is so edgy and quote unquote realistic that Ben doesn't have pants.
I specifically chose that version of the thing for the thumbnail just because it's the worst design, but it's so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
So, did you know that these versions of the characters were supposed to appear in Deadpool 2 at one point?
Really? I actually did not know that.
Yeah, we have concept art for it. They were gonna have different suits.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I'll drop them in the collab VC text.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think the other thing that just kind of really bothers me about this movie, among several things, but something that's just like kind of it's a small gripe, but it's a gripe nonetheless. The fact that they aren't called the Fantastic Four until the very end of the movie, and it's played off as a very on the nose joke. Fantastic.
Yeah,
What did you say? Say that again. It's like, you're not smart. You're not clever.
makes for an excellent meme though.
It does. Like, I love the meme. I hate the fact that it's real and that's where it comes from, but it's funny. It's funny as a meme, but.
yeah.
And then the other thing about this movie is I feel all the characters are just like assholes. Everyone's just a terrible person. I feel like they all hate each other. This doesn't feel like a team. This doesn't feel like a family. It feels like everyone just has to work together, but they all hate each other. Like,
Exactly, and I get- this is the probably the main reason why a lot of people think that Miles Teller would make an excellent version of the Maker.
oh, I hate that that idea is in my head now.
Same.
I think this movie's extra insulting for people who are actually fans of the Ultimate Universe Fantastic Four, because this is supposed to be like based off of the Ultimate Universe. It takes more inspiration from there than like the mainline universe. I personally never read much, never cared much. Ultimate Universe wasn't really my thing aside from like Miles, but yeah, I never had much interest, so it's like I don't personally care much about that. But I know a lot of people who are like really big Ultimate fans, Ultimate Fantastic Four fans, who are like, this movie completely butchered these characters in this universe.
Yeah, I can imagine that they wanted to adapt the Ultimate Fantastic Four because that's mainly where like the MCU was pulling from at the time,
Uh huh. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't help that the Fantastic Four Ultimate comics weren't really that great.
yeah.
Because, like you said, like really the only thing that people liked from that universe was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because that's what all people talk about. That's the only thing that people talk about now is Spider-Man.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's why they folded the Ultimate Universe into the main universe. Well, it was one of the reasons, but one of the big reasons was dwindling sales. It wasn't really worth it to continue the Ultimate line, but because Miles was such a big hit, he was like a standout character. They wanted to continue with Miles, and so that was one of the factors that contributed to melding the universes together. That way, they would be able to keep Miles as a character, keep his story, keep his things, but have him in the main timeline while being able to phase out the Ultimate Universe. Um, Like there are other factors that went into it. It's not 100% just Miles, but that was a big one. Dwindling sales
Right.
wasn't worth it to keep the Ultimate line. Miles was popular. Miles was selling. Keep Miles, which I'm glad. I am very glad because if we were in a timeline where the Ultimate Universe just died, they just canceled it without anything, and we didn't get any more Miles, that would suck. That would suck very hard.
It would because I'm gonna be so honest. Like, well, first he has like his comic run is so much better than Peter's main run,
Hmm.
and at this point, I think I like him a little more than Peter.
I would agree with that. I really would. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's mostly because
Yeah.
most of the people writing Peter hate him.
Exactly. Yeah, and a lot of people have made this kind of connection before, but I feel like for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they kind of took a little bit from Miles,
Uh huh.
because they gave him Ned, which is pretty much ganky.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I definitely see that. I felt that way too. That MCU is very clearly Miles inspired, which apparently Miles can't appear in the MCU. That Kevin Feige, or I think it was him, I don't know, someone said that recently, that Sony's like, no, Miles stays away. And I'm like, that explains so much now. It
Yeah,
sucks, but it explains so much.
yeah, they can't introduce Miles until the Spider-Verse trilogy ends.
I see. But yeah, so getting back to Fantastic, the name sucks, the movie sucks, the universe sucks, the designs suck, the characters suck. There is no redeeming quality about this. I can't say, like, if I had to say one thing, if I had to say one nice thing, literally the only thing that comes to mind, I liked Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch. That's it. That's the only thing I could say is, that I like about it. That's the only nice thing that comes to mind. Everything else is just like, damn, this movie kind of bad.
I would agree with that, honestly. Like, even this is a kind of a nitpick, I guess, but like th- their showcase, like at the beginning of the movie, like their science fair project or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they made like a teleporter, and their science teacher disqualified them because it's not real science.
I'm telling you, everyone in this movie's an asshole.
Like, fuck you, Homer Simpson.
I don't get what they were going for with this. Like, tonally, it's terrible. If they were trying to do realistic, if they're trying to do realism, they failed at that too. Um, it's just, this movie's just bad on every level. It's fundamentally a bad movie. No, this movie is not still fantastic. I would say it is very unfantastic. This is the most non-fantastic movie a Fantastic Four movie could be. This is like whatever the direct opposite of fantastic is. I can't think of the word right now. If anyone has a dictionary, please tell me an antonym for fantastic. I'll come back to that later. Okay. So moving on, next we have. Oh, I just realized I am not streaming on Discord. You guys can't even see the tier list. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
It's all good. I was just watching the YouTube stream.
Oh, well, thank you for the views. But there you go. I'm streaming it on Discord now. If you don't want to be behind. And now I have to fix this thing again. I really need to figure out a better way to do this. Okay, so let me
Yeah,
move this.
I was kind of watching the stream. So
You guys are so kind. I just stream it on Discord in case you guys don't want a delay, because I know YouTube has the delay. But hey, if you
yeah,
want to give me views, I'll take them. I need those.
yeah, I'm giving you the views.
I need those 50-cent AdSense, guys. Come on. This is a little
Also,
big
to those
close
that
this.
are watching the YouTube stream, like the stream.
Like and subscribe.
This is what I have guests for. Not only do they validate my opinions, but they promote me. I'll promote you guys later, maybe, if I remember. No, stop. Oh god, I messed that up so badly. There we go. Don't let me touch the OBS settings. I almost screwed everything up.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. I saved it. So, moving on to the next one, we have so this is the 90s Fantastic Four movie, Unreleased. This movie did not officially release, but you can find it on YouTube, Internet Archive, other shady websites that will probably give you a virus or have ads every 5 minutes or are filled with inappropriate advertisements for adult services that also give you
Yeah,
viruses.
yeah. Don't use the shitty websites, please.
For legal purposes, I am not advocating for piracy. Please support the official release for this unreleased movie.
Exactly.
But yeah, so with this one, it's so hard to really rank it. It's so hard to judge it because it is unreleased. It's like what we're seeing, what we're viewing, isn't what we were meant to see. This isn't like the experience we were meant to have with this movie. It's like a compilation of different clips, different cuts. It's kind of like awkwardly held together by duct tape. So it's really hard to judge it. It's hard to say, is this a good movie? Is this a bad movie? I think taking into consideration the fact that this is unreleased, taking into consideration it's a very, very rough. Also, it was the 90s, so like effects weren't really great. And the visual effects that it did had was minimal for what we got. I still think it works. I think it's good. The story's fine. The characters are fine. It's nothing like great. It's nothing to really drive home, but I enjoyed it. It's watchable. I'm perfectly fine just tossing this into okay. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. Maybe the fact that it's unreleased, I should bump it up a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's sitting fine there. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I would I would have put it in good. Because like you can, even if it is like not the final cut, you can very clearly see like the vision of what it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, it's pretty comic accurate from what I've experienced reading the comics.
True, yeah.
Uh,
I'd argue it's one of the much more comic accurate ones. That's also a good point. I also
it's
love
so
the,
comic.
the suit designs in it. I am so glad that it's faithful suits because we don't get that again until First Steps, like 25 years later. Instead, we had to deal with early 2000s. Oh, hey, let's make it black. It's dark blue, but it's basically black. And then this. So I like the
Yeah,
designs in it. I like the costumes.
like it's so comic accurate. Even adapts that unfortunate relationship with Reed and Sue when they first met.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. I can move that up.
But genuinely, I would love to see this movie get an official release at some point in the future.
Well, if we could make the Snyder cut happen, I think anything's possible these days.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one that owns the full rights to the movie is Avi Arad. He bought the full rights just to bury it even deeper.
Whoa, my god!
I am
Why?
not li- I am not lying about that, by the way. I'm being so serious.
Oh my goodness.
Of course it is. You can always trace it back to terrible people. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely say I would recommend watching it. I would, give it a shot. It's unreleased, so it's like it's rough in a lot of places, but it's still watchable. It's very much watchable, and it's good. It's
Yeah,
it's good.
you can watch that, and then afterwards you can also watch the documentary, which is also on YouTube.
Oh yeah, there is the documentary. Okay, so initially, like I said, this video was just going to be just the live action movies, and then that was it. But that would only be five of them, and I was like, I don't want to be here for 45 minutes. If I'm going to do this, it's going to be at least an hour. So to artificially inflate the time, I also have here the three cartoons. So clearly, we did not watch these. I mean, technically, we didn't watch these either. We only watched two of them.
Exactly. Because we refused to watch the battle one.
I
I
ended up
mean,
canceling Fantastic because I if we had watched Fantastic on Friday, I would have come home from First Steps to watch Fantastic, and I would have gone from that was a great Fantastic Four movie to I hate the Fantastic Four now.
it would have been very jarring for you.
Yeah, yeah. So I did not want to subject myself to that going from First Steps to Fantastic, and nobody else wanted to watch it. Everyone was in favor of skipping it, so we
Like
all
I'm the
knew
one
where
that
it was going.
like from in the first place, I was the one that suggested replacing it with the Roger Corman film.
Yeah, yeah. We could have done that, but it is what it is. Okay, so the animated version. So there's three animated cartoons here. So this is like the original one. I think. Uh, I want to say this was 60s, but maybe I'm just saying 60s because everything was 60s. It could have been 80s. I honestly don't know.
This was 67.
Oh, I knew it was 60s. I should have gone with my gut. It's always the 60s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and then 2010. I'm literally just saying every 10 years. Why am I saying that like it's a surprising thing? All I did was skip the 70s. I went from 60s to 80s and then it just skipped. I had a point, but it wasn't a real point. Then here is Fantastic Four. This was the Fox one from the 90s. So this is the one that was in the same loosely in the same universe as the Spider-Man, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, X-Men. I say loosely because like the continuity of that universe is a mess. It has crossovers and connections and shared designs and stuff, but the timeline just doesn't actually work if you try to line it up. So, loose continuity, loose timeline. And then this is oh, what is this one called? I can't read it on
World's
there because
Greatest
the text
Heroes.
is too small. But this was
Yeah, World's Greatest Heroes from 2006.
thank you, World's Great. I was thinking, okay, I know Avengers is Earth's Mightiest Heroes. What's this one? I guess the name was escaping me, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I will fully admit, World's Greatest Heroes is the only one that I've watched.
that's fine. No worries. Luckily for me, I'm old enough to have. Well, I'm not old enough to have watched the '60s one. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to have some knowledge and experience on each of these. So yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the '60s animated series, it's '60s animated series. It's exactly what you would expect from that time frame. Literally, all you have to do is just think about '60s Spider-Man or Spider-Man and his amazing friends, um, stuff like that. You know, that kind of era. Pretty similarly, you know, Adam West Batman. That was live action. It wasn't animated, but again, similar kind of tone. Very, very campy. Very like fun energy. Not really that much fighting. Not really that much like action, but instead more so just kind of like creative solutions for problems. Like that kind of tone, that kind of structure, style, stuff like that. That's basically what you can expect from it. That's like it's like par for the core. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much more to say on it because again, it's a '60s series. It's you get what you're expecting for it. If you're a fan of '60s Spider-Man, if you're a fan of Adam West Batman, you're probably gonna like this. If that's too campy for you, it's too cheesy, you prefer something with more story, more stakes, more lore, serialization, character development, you're obviously not going to find that. That didn't exist in the 60s. Character development was not created until like the 80s. So, you're 20 years too early for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good. I mean, it's not good. It's okay. But it's good. So I know you said you didn't watch it, and I would assume you also didn't watch it, but just based off of that description, kind of similar vibes, kind of similar tone, energy, structure to 60s Spider Man or Adam West Batman. Do you think that would work or fit for the Fantastic Four as characters? Or do you think that maybe that kind of like structure and style and tone isn't really the best fit for them?
Honestly, I think it would have just matched pretty well with the comics that were releasing at the time, which is kind of similar to the Spider-Man show from the 60s as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really that's what it is really. Like the reason these shows are like this, the reason why these shows kind of have that structure and things is because that is what it was at the time. That really defined the era of comics. You didn't get, like I said, I say it as a joke, but they didn't develop character development until the 80s. Where that's when we got stories like you know the Dark Knight Returns. That was like one of the pivotal changes in Batman as a character towards more seriousness. It also inspired the 80s Batman series. From there, we went on into Batman the Animated Series, BTAS, and the films that followed from that. There was a bit of deviation. You know, you went from like really serious films with Batman and Batman Returns to then Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. So there was like that return back to camp, but audiences didn't really gel with that. They didn't like it. So instead, we pivoted more towards serious storytelling. And then from there, in the early 2000s was basically an edge fest. Everyone was trying to be edgy, everyone was trying to be dark, everyone was trying to be mature. So we had a lot more serious storytelling. We had a lot more serialization, character arcs, story arcs. You know, that's where we see things like you know, Teen Titans, um, the Justice League Unlimited, the Batman, you know, stuff like that. On the Marvel side of things, that's also where we start to get into you know, we move past the animated series, the Spider-Man, X-Men, those from the 90s, and then there's kind of like a gap period where Marvel's a lot more experimental. They do more experimental things. They had the Spider-Man show on MTV. That was pretty dark and edgy. You know, that had some pretty serious topics. Um, you had Iron Man, Armored Adventures, Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes. Really compelling storytelling. Really great. Spectacular Spider-Man. Very strong in serialization, very strong in character development, very mature storytelling. And then we pivot into the MCU era, corporate synergy. I hate you, Marvel. I hate you, corporate synergy. Why did you ruin animation for me? Uh, you also get into the early 2010s and like the edgy Riverdale era. As we can see, as we can see.
Exactly.
So it's really interesting to see just like the trends in storytelling and the trends in tone and stuff. I could have made that an entire video essay, and instead I just threw that out in the middle of a random Fantastic Four video. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, because also you have to keep in mind, Force that came out around the time people were trying to emulate the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were trying to like capitalize on the success of that, and then that's also what led into the Zack Snyder movies. Why DC was trying to move forward with Zack Snyder and his vision because they thought it was going to be similar in reception to The Dark Knight and the tone. Because people love The Dark Knight for its realism. People were like, "This is so realistic. This is a realistic take on Batman." And so they wanted to lean into realism. Realism became like the main focus for things, whereas the MCU was leaning away from realism. You know, they were starting to they still had their realism in terms of like their comic designs. It's also why you see like the change in outfits, like the outfits that people wear in comic movies. You can really see the trends. You know, early 2000s they all had those like leather spandex thing. Leather was really huge. Um, and then as you start getting closer to the 2010s, it starts to be more like militaristic, kind of like um, Kevlar, and then you get to like nanotechnology, where pretty much everyone has a nano suit now. I hate nano suits so much, by the way. I can go on a rant about nano suits, but the Fantastic Four haven't had a nano suit, so it wouldn't be fitting here, but I could do it. So, you know, there's just like so many different trends and things. And then now we're starting to see a trend kind of backwards in a way where we're going back to very comic accurate suits. We're seeing comic accuracy in suits, taking suits directly from the comics and putting them onto the screen without having to make them look realistic, without having to make them look militarized or, you know, leatherized or armor or anything like that. It is literally just this is a suit straight out of a comic. That's why I love the Fantastic Four suits in First Steps. Tied it back to the Fantastic Four. Did it, guys. Relevant, on topic. Because, you know, the suits are literally just the Fantastic Four suits. They have, like, the turtlenecks and the space suits and all of that. So, you know, it's really interesting to follow those trends, to follow the trends in what movies are doing, what movies are trying to capitalize, tones, costume design, filming structure, everything has a trend for the decade that it's in based off of whatever popularity or high they're trying to chase. And right now, the trend seems to be comic accuracy. Movies are a lot more fun, they're taking themselves less seriously, which I love. I love that we're in that era right now.
Yeah.
You're
It's
right, guys.
genuinely
I
really
should
nice.
form my own podcast.
I'm surprised you haven't.
But yeah, so I don't know, tying it back all the way back to Fantastic Four. 60s Fantastic Four for the time fits with the 60s, fits with the like tone of the era, everything that they were going for there. It works, and yeah, I think it's okay. I think if you love that style, you love that tone, you're gonna love this. If not, probably not. Following that up with the 90s. Nah, I said this already. The 90s Fantastic Four. Again, similarly, using like the context of other things at the time. This is pretty similar in tone to the Spider-Man the animated series, the X-Men animated series. It's similar to the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man. So that universe, loose universe, because it's again, it doesn't really work perfectly. Um, it's really good. I really like the show a lot. This was my first exposure to the Fantastic Four. This is where I was first exposed to the characters, where I first grew to like the characters. I think this show does a really good job of kind of characterizing them. It gets their personalities done really well. I love the dynamic that they have. I love how accurate it is for not just comic accuracy, but accurate for the general feeling of comics at the time. Uh, and yeah, it's a really solid show. It's really good. I would very easily put this into good. I also think that you know people really loved X Men '87. I think we should get more of those. Like bring back those shows and continue them. Like that universe, that loose universe, was really good. It was really strong. I know everyone wants Spectacular Spider-Man to come back. Like I would not be against that at all. Spectacular Spider-Man was great, but I also think that there's
Yeah.
just so much potential in this universe, especially now that we opened the door with X-Men '87. So continuing with this universe, continuing with these stories, I would love that. I personally would like that a lot. Am I biased because I'm a '90s kid? Probably, but if people are gonna nostalgia pander, I'm here. Pander to me. Give me that nostalgia.
I will agree because I do plan to watch this series now. But we actually kind of are getting a continuation of the Spider-Man animated series in comic form.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah, yeah.
They're not bringing back the head writer, but the writer did write a few episodes of the show at least, so that's nice.
Makes sense.
Um, while they don't have the rights to like continue Spectacular and bring it back or whatever, I wouldn't mind seeing that get a comic continuation as well.
Yeah, spectacular. Okay, what's really sad about Spectacular Spider-Man is, like I said, it was screwed over by corporate synergy because Marvel wanted to put all of their shows into corporate synergy with the MCU. They canceled Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Spectacular Spider-Man. What makes it even sadder is that Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Spider-Man that appears in Earth's Mightiest Heroes was supposed to be Spectacular Spider-Man. Josh Keaton had voice lines recorded for Spider-Man in the episode that he appears in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and he was dubbed over by Drake Bell at the last moment. And that is just really messed up. Like I was so mad when I found out about that first time. Not just because I'm a fan of Spectacular Spider-Man. Like I liked Ultimate Spider-Man. I like Drake Bell as Spider-Man. I got no problem with Drake Bell. But if you already voiced Josh Keaton, you already wanted it to be this version. That was your plan. And you just have to pivot to Drake Bell because Disney said corporate synergy. I hate corporate synergy so much. It ruins comics, it ruins animation, it ruins movies. Like this idea that everything needs to be synergized, this idea that audiences are going to get confused or they're not going to know what's what, or that you have to cross promote and your characters have to resemble each other and look like each other and act like each other. It limits storytelling, it limits the ability to create innovation, and it ruins so much about what makes things stand out. What's good about the animated universe and the comics is that it's their own thing, it's their own story. By shoehorning it in to the MCU and MCU adjacency and corporate synergizing everything, all you're doing is saying, you like the MCU? We're going to give you more MCU. You don't like the MCU? Too bad. Here's more MCU.
Exactly, and it even kind of affected the comics for a while too, because they love trying to push that onto the comics as well, which
I.
doesn't make
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah. Like,
And you
go
know,
ahead.
and going with you saying that they replaced Josh Keaton in that episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, it doesn't make sense for it to be Drake Bell because later on in his show, they have crossovers with the show that they replaced Earth's Mightiest Heroes with. So I guess they're all just in one big continuity.
It also doesn't make sense for it to be Drake Bell because in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Iron Fist and Luke Cage are adults. Yet in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they're teenagers and they go to school with him. So like, it didn't make sense from the start.
Yeah, it's just the synergy just actively ruins everything that they try to push it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, by the way, I love the Fantastic Four in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I would have very much loved a spin-off or some kind of focus on the Fantastic Four within Earth's Mighty Heroes, which I mean, technically we have right here coming up. We're going to talk about it soon, but it's not really. It's its own thing. The designs are different, the characters are different. I think the intention was for the Earth's Mightiest Heroes version of the Fantastic Four to be this version of the Fantastic Four, but that doesn't work either. Like, I hate extended universes when they don't make sense. DC made it work with the DC animated universe because it was always the plan to have things together, and even they mess it up sometimes. Like looking at the timeline, it's a mess, especially now that they're trying to fit more movies and stuff into it that are coming out later. And there's stuff that is and isn't. Like Static Shock wasn't supposed to be, but then it was, and then just all this stuff. It's a headache. The '90s Marvel stuff, like I said, technically it's the same universe because characters appear and they have the same design and voice actors, but the timeline doesn't work when you actually look at episodes. Characterization can be off sometimes, events can contradict each other, and then you just have the current corporate synergized MCU animated shows, and those are supposed to all be the same, but they're not because there's so many contradictions. I think Spider-Man meets the Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time 3 different times. So corporate synergy doesn't work. Extended universes don't work. Just make shows, guys. Just make shows. Is it so hard to make a good show these days?
Exactly.
Yeah, because again, the same continuity, same all that, and then those Avengers and Guardians also end up meeting Robbie Damon's Spider-Man.
Oh my god, you're right. Have we had the Fantastic Four in animated form now? Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yes, they showed up in one of the Avengers shows, I think.
Okay, I honestly was not sure because like I did not watch those. I briefly touched on them. I briefly was like, yeah, I'll check out if an episode here or there. I couldn't watch it. I tried so hard. I really wanted to like it. The only thing I watched was Spider Man. Like I like Ultimate Spider Man and I like Marvel Spider Man. Controversial, I know, but I actually like them. But Avengers Assemble or whatever it's even called, the Guardian show, Hulk and the Agents of Smash.
I couldn't get into
I feel like
those.
there's something else I'm missing, but I didn't watch any of those. I didn't really care for them. I didn't like them. But yeah, so now we get to the last of the Fantastic Four animated shows, and this is by far the best animated Fantastic Four, and it is also one of the best Fantastic Four in general. Like there is so much that I love about this show. Like I said, the '90s version, that was my first exposure to the Fantastic Four. That was the first time I learned about these characters, and I liked it. I liked the show. I liked the characters, but I wasn't like super sold on it. I didn't love it. It was one of those shows that like I watched every now and then when it was on. I occasionally caught it. I'd like to watch the show, um, but I wasn't like super invested. I was a much bigger fan of Spider Man and the Incredible Hulk. Those two shows were my favorites. X Men I liked, but I couldn't keep up with. There was way too much to keep up for me. My young child brain could not understand the concept of arcs at the time. But I liked X Men. I just couldn't keep up with it, and I didn't like Iron Man. I've been an Iron Man hater since day one. I think I came out of the womb hating Iron Man. I think my first words were Iron Man, ew.
Wow. But like, yeah.
But yeah,
Wait,
so
have you watched Armored Adventures?
um, I have not actually.
You should. I actually really like that one.
I think the only time I've liked Iron Man was in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I actually like Earth's Mightiest Heroes Iron Man. And that's just a testament to how good that show is, because if it can make me like a character I hate as much as Iron Man, it's a pretty damn good show. But yeah,
You don't
so
have to
for
love it,
Mhm.
obviously, but I would recommend trying it out.
Yeah, I might give it a try. So for this one, for this Fantastic Four, this is what really got me to really, really care about the characters. This is what got me to really love them. Really just kind of see what it is about the characters that is so special. What makes them stand out. Something that I think a lot of films and a lot of adaptations get wrong about the Fantastic Four is that it treats them like a superhero team, like the Avengers, and they're really not. The Fantastic Four are heroes, yes. They save people, they fight villains, they do all of that. They are, in fact, heroes. But they're not a hero team. First and foremost, they're scientists, they're researchers. And a lot of their conflicts are science based. You have Galactus, literally an entity of cosmic energy, a cosmic being. You have Doctor Doom. It's a it's a political opponent because he's the ruler of another country, and he's also a scientist. He's a genius scientist. So a lot of Doom's grander schemes are more grandiose, big movements that do require delicacy to avoid some kind of international incident or some kind of conflict with Latveria as a whole. A lot of times, defeating Doom is about defeating him on an intellectual level rather than just beating him in a fight. And that's what a lot of these adaptations fail with Doom. I feel like the reason we've never gotten a good Doom is because it always amounts to just beating Doom in a fight. It's sure there is outsmarting him. In 2005 they like superheat his suit and then trap him inside. That's kind of like outsmarting him, but it's still done through a fight. It's still at the end of the day hit him hard enough he goes down. And that's not the appeal of Doom. That's not the appeal of the Fantastic Four. They're not heroes, or they're not superheroes. They are researchers, scientists, people who use their powers for good that solve their problems through thinking and through creative ingenuity rather than just beating down their opponents. And so many adaptations fail on that, but this show gets it right. This show treats them first and foremost as scientists and researchers who use thinking and ingenuity to win. Which is very ironic considering the title is World's Greatest Heroes, a show that hypes up in the title them being heroes that actually demonstrates them as more than just heroes. Incredibly ironic, but I love this show. I love how it handles them. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I agree, and I love that, for briefly, I love that they bring in She-Hulk as a team member.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Yep. Yeah.
The inner team dynamic in this show is also great. Um, they really do feel like a family. They feel like a really strong team, and yeah, I feel like something that I think is kind of missed on other adaptations, other versions of the Fantastic Four, is that usually they're segmented. They're kind of branched off. Like you have, you know, Johnny and Ben. They're usually a pair. Reed and Sue are a pair. Then Johnny and Sue are a pair, and then Ben and Reed are a pair. But like you usually kind of miss out. Like Johnny and Reed, they don't really have like a strong dynamic or a strong relationship. They're just kind of like we know each other, we have mutual friends. Ben and Sue, they're supposed to have a pretty strong relationship. They're supposed to have a strong connection. You don't always feel that. Sometimes it just feels like, yeah, we live together. That's it. Um, but I think this is one of the versions that everyone has a dynamic with each other and there's an overall group dynamic. And it's a good group dynamic. They bicker, they fight, but they still care about each other. They're there for each other, they help each other, and most importantly, they're not all assholes. But yeah, great show. Really good show.
Yeah, I agree.
I 100% agree.
Okay. So for the last one, first steps. I know that in this call right now, I am the only one who has seen the movie. So this is what we're gonna do. First, I'm going to put it. Well, first I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. I'm gonna put it in the tier, and then for you guys, since you haven't seen it, I want you to tell me what you're feeling about it. How you feel about it. If you're looking forward to it, what you think you're going to like about it, what you're looking forward to, concerns you have, anything like that. Just kind of give your thoughts going into it. Like, what do you expect or anything like that. So, like I said, I'll start off for. Actually, let's reverse that. I'll have you guys go first because if I go first, then I'm gonna tell you, obviously not spoilers, but like vague things here and there that are in the movie, so that could change your opinion. So instead, first, let me know, what are you guys either looking forward to, expectations. What do you think the film does right based off of promos or trailers you've seen, and yeah, what are your thoughts going into before seeing it?
Uh, Honestly, from what I've seen, going off just all of the marketing,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really feel like, I guess, not really like a modern superhero film, which is good considering, it's not really set in modern times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just going off everything, it just feels like they're more of like a family desperately trying to survive and save everyone that they love,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is good and fits the setting and everything that it's about. Um, I actually have the prequel comic for the movie, but I haven't read it yet. But I've heard that it's really good. I like that, Galactus is in it, and I like that he's actually, a physical
Actually in
presence
it.
and not just a cloud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I have to say, I think the suits that they have are some of the best in recent comic book movies. Like, especially Johnny's. Like, I love that the lines on the suit really stand out and are prominent when he's flamed on, giving him the lines that he has like in the old Fantastic Four comics. I
Mm-hmm.
really love that. But as for the story, um, obviously I'm really, the trailers alone really push it as like, oh, family is really important, and obviously they're expecting like their first child with Reed and Sue.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously Franklin Richards is quite a powerful and important character to the Fantastic Four. So I'm really interested in seeing what they do with that. Obviously, they can't do too much because he's just a kid, but I would say it has me excited for the future of the Fantastic Four. But I mean, considering they're in Doomsday, it's looking kind of bleak.
I'll get to my thoughts on that, but yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know when, but I'm planning to watch the movie. So I don't know. It depends if like got the time and stuff.
Hmm.
No, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Okay. So for myself, I went to go see the movie on Friday. Initially, I was gonna see it. I was gonna see it Saturday. I was gonna see it yesterday, but the reason I ended up going on Friday instead was because my nephew, my sister's son, he wanted to go see it with me. He asked if we could go see it together, and I said yeah. And well, first of all, he really liked it. He's the kind of person that if he doesn't like a movie, or if he's not really entertained, he's gonna be like kind of fidgety, especially in the movie theaters. He doesn't do movie theaters much because of that. But no, he loved the movie. He was very captivated, very engaged. There were a couple of parts that made him sad. It made him cry a little bit. Um, he is a 9 year old, so like he can be a little emotional. But there were also parts that made me cry a little bit. There were also parts that I thought was really emotional, really heart wrenching. So like it is a film for pretty much all ages. Anyone can enjoy it, and it does so much well. There is a lot of the movie that I liked, that I really think was a strength of it. When it comes to the Fantastic Four as a team, something that this version does that so many other adaptations fail at. Every member of the team feels competent, important, and contributes in some way. They all have their strengths. I really hate how a lot of times the Fantastic Four in adaptations, it just feels like you have you have Reed as the leader, you have Ben as the strong one, you have Johnny as the immature, reckless wild card, and then you have Sue as the girl. That is literally her role. She is the girl. She gets personality none aside from girl. And the 2005 and Silver Surfer, they were very guilty of that, of shoehorning them all into one box. Smart one, tough one, immature one, girl. Um, but no, what first steps does is it presents them as multifaceted. They each have their different strengths. They each contribute to the team in their own way. You still see some parts of that. You still see some kind of like lingering remnants of that, in the sense that Reed is still the leader. He's still the smart one. Ben is still kind of like the tough one. He's still like the muscle of the group. Johnny's still kind of reckless, kind of immature, hot headed, and then Sue, rather than being girl, is motherly. She's the mother figure of the group. She's trying to keep things together, trying to keep things in control, especially with her son Franklin. Expecting a son and trying to manage that, trying to manage being heroes while also bringing a baby into the world. I love how this version depicts Reed. It does such a great job of highlighting Reed's characters, not just being the smart one, not just being smart, but also demonstrating how he can be obsessive, how he can be very paranoid. How he's always trying to trying to take care of everything on his own, trying to handle everything on his own, um, and trying to just like prevent things from happening, even when maybe he doesn't need to. So like I love that exploration of his character. I love how he's very flawed. He has so many flaws, but they're presented in a good way. There's there's a point in the movie where there's a conflict between Reed and Sue. 2 points actually. There's two different points where there's a conflict between them, and both times it feels very genuine. It feels natural. It feels like the kind of conflict that you would have in an actual relationship, an actual conflict with your significant other, with your spouse. It's not forced melodrama. It's not to keep the plot going. It's authentic. It's genuine. And because of that, their relationship feels authentic and genuine. And all of their relationships do. So they're multifaceted characters. They have more than just one character trait or one personality point defining them. They have great team dynamic. They all contribute to the plot in some way and contribute to the team. And none of them feel superfluous. None of them feel unnecessary or just shoehorned in. Um, and I really like that. I also think that what the film does well is how the Fantastic Four feel in connection to their universe and in connection to the world around them. Like it actually makes sense for them to feel like celebrities or to feel, you know, like they're constantly being hounded by the press and stuff like that. Because they're not just celebrities, they're influential people. They're influential figures. You know, they're scientists, researchers, um, they're political figures. They have influence on the political stage in the political world. So it makes sense for them to have all of this attention on them, or for everyone to like care about what they have to say, or like them giving a press conference, or like giving a speech in front of the world, or like things like that. Like it actually feels like it makes sense for them to be doing this, unlike in the 2005 movie in Silver Surfer, where it just felt like they were celebrities for celebrity's sake. Like they didn't really earn that status. Here, it's much more earned. The biggest strength of the movie, in my opinion, is this world being so unique. I love the futuristic 60s aesthetic of it. It feels old timey while also feeling futuristic. It does that balance so well, and I swear if they end up getting folded into the MCU and they're just stuck in 616, which isn't 616, but whatever, um, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to be so mad. I don't want that. I do not in the slightest. I want the next time we see this Fantastic Four for it to be in their world, in their universe. I, I am not going to care if Doctor Doom destroys their universe, or if they're forced to flee into the MCU universe, or whatever bullshit reason they come up with. I don't care. I'm not going to like it. I am not going to be satisfied, and I'm probably not going to watch the next Fantastic Four movie if it's in the MCU. If it's in 616, because they're going to lose out on so much. They're going to genuinely suffer from a decision like that to remove them from this world that was made for them. So, like, if whatever happens in Doomsday, whatever happens in Secret Wars, I don't care. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about those movies. I want the next Fantastic Four in this world, in 828, because this is their world. It was made for them. It feels right for them. Shoving them in to 616 just so that they can go off and team up with Sam Wilson and Doctor Strange. No.
It
No,
would be great if
no.
they just went back to their universe and, in their sequel, face off against their Doctor Doom, preferably played by a Romani actor.
Oh god, I so hope so. I really hope so. I hate Robert Downey Jr. casting as Doctor Doom so much. I really, really hate that casting. Not just because it's not a Romani actor. We have been deprived of that so many times now, um, but because
It's just a bad casting in general.
it's so bad cast. It genuinely feels like, oh no, people hate our movies now. We're losing popularity. We're losing traction. What do we do? I know what to do. Bring back RDJ. Push the RDJ button without thinking about the fact that people don't want RDJ as Doom. If people want RDJ back, they want him back as Iron Man. And even
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
unsatisfying because it would completely undo his sacrifice. The one thing that I think his character did well in the MCU, because I'm not a fan of his character or his development, but that's a rant for another day.
Honestly, what they could have done, and it would have had the same effect that they want to go for, without having to ruin Doom. Just have him be superior Iron Man. Just
Yes,
have him be the
yes,
evil variant.
that would have been so good. Superior Iron Man is a good story. I love that story. Or if they really wanted to stick to their guns and do RDJ Doom, I think, which technically could still happen, it's still a possibility, but I highly doubt it because I have zero faith in them. Have it be a fake out. Have it be that RDJ is just taking the name of Doom and the appearance of him to act in the place of the real Doom. Doctor Doom, the real Doctor Doom, who will be cast by a better actor of actual background and heritage reflecting the character of Doctor Doom, sends this RDJ version to be kind of take his role and fill in his place, um, to sort of lure the heroes into a false sense of security. Because like we know that RDJ Doom is going to use the fact that he looks like Iron Man to get their confidence. Like that's something that we know from leaks and information and stuff. And we also know he's not going to wear the mask, which defeats the point of Doom. So
And,
I'm
yeah,
just
and plus
hoping.
the whole thing with like Doctor Doom being his face is not scarred and everything. Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm really just hoping. I'm like the only thing that will give me even an ounce of confidence in Doomsday and Secret Wars is if it's a fake out. If the guys are just using RDJ for publicity to get clicks and views, to get people talking about it, and then in the actual movie he's killed off, he's a body double, he's um, a fake who's sent by the real Doom, anything like that. I don't even care if they do a repeat of the Mandarin where it's someone completely unrelated using the name. I just don't want him to be the Doctor Doom because it's such a.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Bond, I think you've put more thought into it than they have.
I most definitely have. I know I have, and I
Like,
just.
if anything, another thing they could do is just have RDJ just be like a Doom bot disguised as Tony, while the actual Doom is behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's also an option. Doombot, yeah. Like, I would love it so much if the Doombots specifically took like the image of dead heroes just to mess with them. Like that is something Doom would do. That right there is Doom level of mental manipulation.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't
But
think we're gonna get that.
unfortunately,
I think instead we're just gonna be like, I hate you 3000.
yeah, it's a good idea, so it's not gonna happen, right?
I hate it here.
Because unfortunately, while they're currently in the middle of filming the movie, they're also still actively writing it.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like I don't think that's as big of a deal as some are saying. It's not a sign the movie is doomed. Pun not intended. Um, that happens sometimes. I think the same thing happened with Infinity War and with Endgame. This is gonna be a 2.5, maybe 3 hour movie. When Fantastic
Yeah,
Four was less than 2 hours, and it really could have used those extra 15 to 25 minutes.
yeah, they actually, I saw while scrolling through Twitter, they just released the first deleted scene.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna be putting out a couple of deleted scenes, which I think is pretty cool. I like that. They already said no director's cut because of the visual effects is too expensive, and I'm just like, fair. Visual effects workers are underpaid and poorly treated. I don't want to put them through more, but it just sucks. It sucks that this movie was cut down so much because it's not a major problem. It's not like a huge detractor, but you can notice it. Silver Surfer needed more. I like her character. I think she was great, but she definitely needed more. Her character arc doesn't feel as satisfying as it could have because she has kind of limited screen time and doesn't have strong interactions with most of the team. She mostly just interacts with Johnny and a little bit with with Sue, but that's kind of it. She doesn't have like a strong interaction with the team. I would genuinely make the argument that Rise of the Silver Surfer did Silver Surfer better in terms of general arc and in terms of usage in the movie and interactions with characters, because he actually got to interact with the team as a whole, and his character arc was well done and fleshed out, and you can kind of tell what his character arc was. With this Silver Surfer, with her, she has an arc and it's done well enough. It feels genuine, it feels earned, but it could have used more time. The Thing is also pretty criminally underused. Like, he contributes. Like I said, everyone contributes. Everyone has their strengths. So he's not a wasted character. He's not, you know, feeling unsatisfied, but he does get the least out of the four, and he has a subplot in the movie that just kind of exists and then goes nowhere, and it's just like, did I miss something? Was there supposed to be payoff to this? It's like, well, there were two scenes and then that was kind of it. Maybe they're setting it up for the sequel, but I don't know, it just, it feels out of place. Like, it just feels so disconnected. His subplot feels disconnected from the main plot, whereas everyone else's subplot is so nicely tied into the main plot.
Yeah. How did the finished VFX in the movie look?
It
Did it
was
hold
it
up?
was good. There is some pretty rough CGI on Baby Franklin. Like, it is very noticeable that is a CGI baby, but other than that, there's nothing that's just like very detracting or very stands out. There's nothing like Love and Thunder Space Head. There's actually some like really beautiful shots. Some shots that I absolutely love. Um, Mostly throughout the there's a space chase scene where the Fantastic Four are chased in space, so they're in their spaceship and they're being chased. And that has a lot of really beautiful shots that look really, really well done. I like that a lot. Galactus also looks great. He has otherworldly. Like, you can tell he's a being from another world. He's like this entity. And in his design and just the way he moves, the way he interacts with the environment, it is done so well. I love how Galactus looks and moves in this movie.
That definitely makes me look forward to seeing the movie more.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I love the movie. I genuinely loved it a lot. I left the movie feeling really, really happy. Really like, damn, they got the Fantastic Four right. This was the first time in probably 3 or 4 years that I have seen an MCU movie in theaters and left the theaters smiling. This has not happened in years. The last time this happened was probably Far From Home. Yeah,
Really? Not even for Guardians 3.
I didn't watch Guardians 3 in theaters. I wanted to, but I didn't.
Uh,
I watched Guardian 3 on the airplane when I went to Finland because it was a 14-hour flight. So I was like, well, I guess I'm watching movies. And they had Guardians 3 on there. So I was like, I can finally watch this. And then I watched it and I was like, damn, I'm about to cry on an airplane.
so yeah, what are your thoughts on the cast? Because I know that was some of them were kind of controversial castings.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. I like the cast as a whole. I think they all do a really solid job as portraying the characters and filling their role. I definitely have to say Pedro Pascal really impressed me. I was iffy on him just because of the fact that he is, this really prominent big name. So it felt like Marvel celebrity shilling. Just like, hey, we have Pedro Pascal in our movie, guys. But nah, he nails the role. He does read so well. His mannerisms, the small little things about his character acting, really, really good, really solid. So Pedro Pascal definitely blew me away. I was a doubter. I was a Pedro Pascal doubter as Reed, but he does great with the character. He really, really nails it. And everyone's solid. I don't think there's anyone that either has a poor performance or a weak performance. I think they all work really well. So definitely a fan of how the portrayal turned out and how the casting went. Let me
All
check
right.
my notes. Is there anything else I wanted to say about this movie? I say notes, but it's literally just very vague bullet points. I should have taken actual notes. I should have been that guy who was writing on a notepad during the movie. Nah, I wanted to enjoy it my first time. Oh, yeah, okay. So the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit is the fact that this is not an origin movie. This is not an origin story. There's a very, very brief Spark Notes version of their origin at the beginning of the movie. We get like the Spark Notes summary of what happened, a montage of their first kind of outing as heroes, what they've accomplished. But the movie starts and they've been heroes for 4 years. So that does a good job for people who are not familiar with the Fantastic Four, getting you caught up with their origin, their mythos. It does a good job of establishing them in the universe, showing how they became heroes, how they became celebrities and notable public figures. Um, and I just think that is a very good tool. I think we're done with origin stories. I am done with origin stories. I don't want to see an origin story unless it's for a character that nobody's heard of or a character that almost nobody's heard of. Blue Beetle makes sense. That's an origin story. We got to see how he got the scarab. Most people don't know who Blue Beetle is, but most characters, you do not need an origin story these days. Give us the origin in 5-10 minutes, and then spend the rest of the movie focusing on the character. Oh, Herbie. I also forgot to mention Herbie. I loved Herbie. I'm glad that Herbie's in this movie. The fact that Herbie was not in a movie before this is a crime.
I agree.
I 100% agree as well.
And that's also making me realize that we never talked about crypto when talking about Superman.
Oh yeah, we didn't. Okay, go back like 4 hours in a completely different video. Edit this part in. Yeah, guys, I liked Crypto. He was fun. He was really, really the heart of the movie. I'm glad that it was a movie about a dog. There you go. That's now edited in.
Yeah, there we go.
There we
But yeah, so that's pretty much everything I had to say. Like I said, very solid movie, very very good. Good introduction to the Fantastic Four if you don't know anything about them, and if you do know the Fantastic Four, you're just gonna enjoy it even more. Great cast dynamic, great character dynamic. The characters feel multifaceted. Strong storytelling. I hate the fact that they're probably going to be into the MCU. If they are, I'm skipping out on the sequel. I have zero interest in watching a Fantastic Four movie in the MCU. I'm sorry. I just. Normally, I would say one universe because I hate multiverse. I'm done with the multiverse. But this is one of the instances where I'm like, no, please, multiverse it up. Keep them separate. Keep them in their little corner away from everything else. I don't want to see Reed Richards and Shuri talking about protons together. Yeah. Other than that, only really complaints. Like I said, little rough pacing sometimes. Maybe could have used that extra 15-25 minutes. But other than that, I can't complain too much. Very strong movie. Very, very solid. Loved it. I'd say it was fantastic.
Wow, Bon, you're so true.
I got at least one in. Thanks, guys. Okay, so here is the part where we have our completed list. So I doubt there's actually going to be any changes made this time, but always have to offer if there is anything you would like to change. I'm going to say two. You are allowed to make two changes, either move up or move down on the list. Anything you would like to change. And if you both of you say no changes, then I'm officially going to rename this tier from haven't seen to Ballin has the best takes ever.
No, you should rename that to the absolute dog shit movie.
You
You
know,
know what?
I
You
can.
should
I am perfectly fine with that.
Do
you
it
know
and then put the only bad movie. Put it right there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's the only change.
before you do that, actually create two more tiers below that, and then put Fantastic in that tier.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
smart. I like that. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So.
Skip absolute dog shit.
Oh, I accidentally made 3. Whatever. We're doing 3 now.
We're making 3.
Okay. So
Yeah,
this
we've
is
got
filler.
the unremarkable 4.
Remarkable for exactly.
And then this is absolute dog shit.
While we're talking about this, while we're just rating the movies, I'm just playing Fallout 4 and I'm about to die.
Well, where are you at?
Let me see how that way. Map. The Boston Common. They're dealing with some raiders. If they're right there for some reason, like.
All right. Well, there we go. So we have our fantastic. Yeah, I think that's good. Good. I'm gonna actually, I think this order is actually good. I would argue that this is the best one. This is a very close second in terms of the good tier. I love Rise of the Silver Surfer. I guess I can move you two just because you're unreleased, but and then yeah, okay,
Yeah, that looks good to me.
all right,
Yeah, that's good.
okay. So, um, closing thoughts. Basically, just any other thoughts that you have regarding, um, either any of the Fantastic Four movies, anything we haven't said already, any thoughts about the tier list, how things turned out, or anything that you want to plug about yourself, any social media you want to plug, anything you want me to link, or you can just
Uh,
compliment my very good taste in Fantastic Four movies. That's also an option. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I will say that it's kind of criminal that we don't have a modern Fantastic Four video game.
Yes, you're
yeah,
right. So true.
true.
And actually, you kind of do have pretty good taste when it comes to Fantastic Four, so I will give you that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I will very much take that. Okay, so any social media or anything that you guys want to plug, advertise, where can people find you? What do you talk about? What do you do?
Well, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm just posting the gameplay, but that's it. Maybe something in the future. As of now, nothing. But
I have a Twitter at Sly the Trainer. I will perfectly admit, you get like one tweet a month from me. It's mostly retweets.
I also have a Twitter, which is hot up. I forgot my Twitter handle.
That's okay.
um, uh, um, at Siggy True Wife because obviously I stuff. What, anyways. I usually post some silly stuff there, but yeah. Mostly retweets though.
Okay, so
But
I'll go
yeah.
ahead, link both of that into the description at some point between today and eventually. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thanks everyone for stopping by. And I think most likely, I want to say next discussion will either, I haven't decided yet, but it will either be, um, so we'll either be doing DCEU movies, so from Man of Steel all the way to Blue Beetle. I know Blue Beetle technically isn't DCEU anymore, but I want to watch Blue Beetle. So Man of Steel 2, Blue Beetle. Watching those and then discussing those. So it'll either be that. It will be Illumination movies. So everything from Minions all the way to Minions. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the Illumination chronology, but whatever. The Illumination movies. So it'll be
Would that
that,
also be
or the
including
third option
Marvel?
will be I don't know. The third option will be a random Disney Channel sitcom. Yeah.
Could do the Sony verse.
Okay, we could do the Sonyverse, but do I really want a whole stream of people telling me that Craven was bad, and that Morbius was bad, and that
It'd be the opposite of what you want. It'd be a whole stream of people telling you that your opinion's bad.
we can do that in a couple of months. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I need a couple more streams of people telling me I'm right first to kind of build up my ego before I get crushed.
I mean, there are other options. Like, we could do the DC animated universe, the movies.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I'll throw in a couple of options in the Discord, and I'll let you guys vote on it. So, if you want to be a part of that, or you want to be a part of any of these future discussion videos, Discord, public Discord, open to anyone to join. Always love talking with people.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you again for having me.
of course, it was great having both of you. Really liked hearing what you guys had to say. I also liked the part where you guys said I was right.
You would.
All right. I'll catch you guys next time.